We should probably get some little music going here for you guys. We will start the YouTube stream about 20 seconds or so before the other stream, and that'd be a little something for you guys to listen to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm not picking my toes.
Why is it when you say that it makes me think you are? Oh,
see, everybody would get it if you'd start the stream, the
COVID
YouTube
madness
earlier.
Are you guys ready? Here we go. Hey guys.
Hey.
Welcome to the show. I did a spin. What did you do?
I purposefully looked at the camera.
Oh, nice. We're gonna make a dramatic entrance.
Well,
I'm
fighting the urge to look to my left.
Just to your left all you want. I have this canvas here. I know it probably doesn't look that big on in the camera, but Jackie's on the other side of the room. So can you see my hand?
I can see. Yeah, when I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking right at you.
Yeah, but so no one. Most of the time she's over here. So when I look at the camera, I'm looking at Jackie, but now she's over here because of the work in the studio is all crazy, and it's crazy. Speaking of crazy,
yeah.
Today is North Texas Giving Day, and I want to thank everybody so much. We made a post on Facebook, and so many people have given. So I want to thank you guys, but I also want to say we don't expect anybody to give anything, and I really appreciate people who have given, especially during this time. Everything is just crazy. It's hard, I know, and so people who have dug down and they've given to the Guide Dogs of Texas, I really appreciate it. But if you can't give, don't feel bad at all, please. But if you wanted to help, you could go over. You could give a like, a comment. Either to our post here or over on the Guide Dogs of Texas, and on the Facebook, and we'll do we'll share that post. I was going to share the link.
Yeah, I can do that.
Of the thing, but it was just like a million characters. It's like /A, they're 34, all these different numbers.
Oh yeah.
So I thought, oh my goodness, that's crazy. But welcome, guys. Oh, and we're giving an art giveaway. So anybody, and we'll talk about this, and Jackie is the orchestrator of this.
Dun dun dun.
So she'll really go into the details, but we're giving away a limited edition print. It's one of the large limited edition prints. To anybody that's donated any amount to the Guide Dogs of Texas, you just tell us you did, or you send a snap of it, or a screenshot, or whatever. And then we're going to be, this North Texas Giving Day ends at midnight tonight, so we're not going to give the print away tonight. But we're going to collect everybody that donated, and then tomorrow, and send it to us. And then tomorrow we're going to notify the winner, and we're going to give that away.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Well, we have people that are joining us. Thanks for joining us. Kylie Sykes says hi, guys. Brandon Foster is with us, and his hello from the Fosters.
Well, hi.
Barbara Brand says howdy. And Ron Suffert joins us. He says hi, everyone. Anna has joined us and says hello from New York. So she's not in Brazil, which I think is normally where she comes from.
Well.
So awesome.
Well, thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, and Linda's here, says hi. Brandon said, love the Nirvana shirt. Thank you.
Oh,
old school.
Is that what I'm wearing? Is that what you're wearing?
Yes, that's what cool. I'm wearing. Viola from Waco says hello. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. That's a really pretty name. Cassie Garb has joined us, says hello from North Dakota. And Kim has joined us, says hello, happy Thursday. Missed Monday's live stream, but I watched it yesterday. Loved seeing your older work. Thanks for being willing to show those. Oh. Are you blushing?
Me? Yes. Always. Thank you so much, guys. And I want to say, too, about that post, about the giving, to the Guide Dogs of Texas. I went and looked at it on the website just before the stream started, and how many people had donated to the Guide Dogs of Texas today. And a really good percentage of those people had come from our post. I'm excited. Or people that watch here, that join in. that just made me feel so good because we enjoy hanging out, we're chatting and all, and it just made me feel like, we can really make a difference. We can make a change. And I just, that's so cool that I'm friends with people out there that really care, and you guys, you show it and you do things. And like I say, if you can't afford to give, liking, commenting, and all that, showing an interest in disability awareness and issues like that, it means so much. It just, I can't underscore that enough, how much that means to people, to know that there's people out there that care, This starting to sound like a PBS telethon, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Just knowing that you care, and if you listen, then we'll give you this mug, and if you put hot water in it, it'll...
Well, let me say, James has joined us, says hi, or hey. Butch has joined us, says it's showtime.
Who did?
And Butch Massa.
Oh, I said Brooke. I was, hey, look, Brooke, my chair's not squeaky.
Oh, yeah, really. Nancy has joined us and says, hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
I'm excited because she's in town.
Oh, wow. So...
Yes.
Wow.
And
welcome in town.
I know. I'm letting her soak up her grandson, and then I'm gonna be like, "What are you doing? Let's hang out." I was like, "Okay." James says, "Rockin' Plano here." Oh, you're close to us.
Oh, awesome.
And Barbara says, "I shared your post too." Nancy says, "I'm seeing mountains." Haha. It is the Denver skyline.
Yeah, really, Nancy. You can't get away from Colorado. Even coming on here, there it is.
And Butch said, "Lovely, Massa." So I want to reiterate. Actually, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share the North Texas Giving Day link.
Okie dokie.
In the feed. So
while you're doing that, I'm gonna. Do you want me to talk for a moment?
Well, I just did it.
Oh, wow, you're good.
I am.
Gosh, it would take me forever. Click. If I was doing it, it'd be like trying to hack it in the Pentagon or something. Oh, we'll get there in a minute, guys.
Well, what I would like for you to do is, and just to reiterate...
Sorry.
You got your own little party going on over there. Just to reiterate, so it's North Texas Giving Day. It's a big day for nonprofits in North Texas, and if you donate, particularly on this day, there's prizes and funds are matched to the organization that you're donating to. So we obviously are big fans of Guide Dogs of Texas. So we are offering a free large limited edition print to anybody that donates. You just have to share like a screenshot of your donation or whatever, or just the fact that you did it on the Facebooks, and your name will be entered. Can you show the print?
Yeah, and also, guys, I mean, if you're having trouble screenshotting or anything, if you tell us you did it, we will believe you. We're not, good grief. So let me show.
So this is a special night. This is the one out of the last...
This is a special night, darling.
It is a special night.
Okay,
so this is basically one of the biggest paintings you did out of that last immersion series of all the park pieces. So this is a really popular one, and it's beautiful. And you can see this image just shows you kind of that edge that's on the limited editions. They come ready to hang and all that fun stuff. So it's there.
Oh my goodness. And this painting was so much fun to do. It just, I don't know how well the picture shows it. It probably shows it pretty well, but there's lots and lots of color in the painting, and it's, and whenever you see it in person, it's a lot of undulating colors, and
yes,
it was so much fun to work on.
Yeah, this was and man, this was a big one. It sat on the fireplace in the living room for so long because our walls are covered and there's no method to the madness, covered in paintings, so there was no room for this, so it sat actually in front of the fireplace for a really long time until it finally was bought.
That's so true. Yeah, the original painting was so big that it was like down on the bricks, the mantle part of the fireplace, and it went past the mantle, like that whole part of the den was just that painting. But
yeah.
But the limited edition print is still really big, but it's manageable. Like it's much easier to hang on a wall than the original because you don't need a massive bare wall.
It's 24 inches by 30 inches.
Oh, that's
very
math.
It's math. It's math. Well, Shin has joined us and says all the best from Japan.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you sent me a message, and I I'm going to get back to you. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
And James says beautiful. And Vilia says that's a beauty. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. And Chin actually sent me thank you. I wanted to comment back. I was able to read it, but I wasn't able to write back then about a hero dog from Japan.
Oh,
to add to the hero dogs.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I thought, how neat is that? How cool. So thank you so much, man. That's so cool. And so that's just brilliant, and it's kind of a topical thing because tonight, we're talking about hero dogs, really, about the guide dogs and stuff.
And speaking of hero dogs, I didn't even think to load these up onto the folder, but there are 2 paintings left in that series, and half the proceeds to that go to the Guide Dogs of Texas. So if you go to John's website, it's Nick Carter and the first American Guide Dog Buddy. Those are the 2 paintings left in that series that half the proceeds go to Guide Dogs of Texas. So
that's right.
If you love heroic animals,
yeah, and I'm talking about, it's funny because like you do a series and sometimes you think, oh, this painting was so quick or something. That's really what I thought about these 2 paintings because bloodhounds are just cute dogs. They're just like, and they have such a fan base. And this Nick Carter was just an incredible hound dog. I mean, like he found more people, and it just has a droopy face, and it's just so much fun. I never painted a bloodhound before that. And then Buddy, the very first guide dog ever, and the scene that's in is because he was in the 50s, so I did sort of a 50s kind of diner behind him. He's on a street because of course he helped so many people be able to he helped his owner be able to travel, but he was just a beacon for
he laid the groundwork.
And so and it's a German Shepherd, and he's wearing his harness, and I really love doing that painting. I think, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think it turned out really well. And it's just a nice painting for people that like German Shepherds, for guide dog, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we want to mention out of that whole series, that's the only 2 paintings that are left.
Yeah,
and half the proceeds go to the Guide Dogs of Texas. And if they have, if it happened to sell today, then they would match that, and that'd be
cool.
So.
Well, Karen Teeter joins us, says, "Hey guys," and Cassie has joined us and says, "Hey yeah." So thanks for joining us. Tonight is all about the guide dogs and all that fun stuff. So I've loaded up some wacky photos for us to go through.
Yeah, guys.
While John paints the Denver skyline.
Yeah, and I want to encourage anybody, if you have any questions about guide dogs, about seeing guide dogs, about any of that, you're just curious about something, you're wondering, please put it in chat. Ask. I love talking about these brilliant dogs. They're incredible, and also about the Guide Dogs of Texas because we work with a lot of different nonprofits and charities. We really do, and we work with the ones that we feel good about and we know are good. But I'm consistently blown away by the Guide Dogs of Texas because of how well they handle their donations, but how it goes directly to the dogs and everybody that's training the dogs. And it's just an incredible organization, and it's so, and the work they do is just so amazing. So, and we've been affiliated with them for years. I mean, good grief. I got my first Guide Dog Echo from them, and they blew me away not only with the quality of a guide dog instruction, but then later getting to know them and being around them for years, and then being on the board for a while, you really get in the ins and outs of it. And I was just completely blown away. Because like I say, we work with a lot of nonprofits, a lot of charities. One of my majors in college was disability studies, so you learn about nonprofits, how they're put together and all that. And I don't know. I don't want to just get off. I'll get off my soapbox about it, but I just, it's like whenever you do donate or you find a nonprofit or charity, you wonder how much of how much does my donation really help and all that. And this is definitely one of those where
and
they appreciate every dollar that comes in.
There is also the option. I do want to say, if you're not the type that's just blindly giving money to an organization not knowing where they put it, there's options on their website where you can buy big giant bags of dog food and have it directly sent to them, so you know exactly what you're buying and sending over them if that's what you like to do.
That's pretty cool. That's cool too. I also, though, it's funny, I know it's with a lot of nonprofits and things sometimes I like if I'm going to donate money, sometimes I just want to give it to them, and not earmark for anything, because all their stuff is so earmarked,
that's
because
true. That's true.
So I want I'm saying like, hey guys, you should have like a pizza party one day or something. I don't know, just, enjoy something. I don't know. I know they don't doing that, but I mean,
a pizza party.
I know. It's just
a
like
pizza party.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, hey, I want to share something really quick, guys. This is off topic completely, but this is the season for school.
Oh gosh.
And stuff, and so Jack has started homeschooling again.
Yes. Oh.
He was in the studio today, so he was over like where Jackie sits, and it had the cameras on. I was just getting everything kind of loaded up, and this is me and Jack. This is about how good homeschooling generally goes.
I like how when I'm doing homeschooling with him, it's like, do this, do that, whatever, and then I come in here when he does his different subject matters, and I'm like, what's up? And you're like, look at these funny pictures, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
I'm like, hey Jack,
what is he getting done in here?
Hey Jack, can you pretend like you're on fire? And he's like, of course. So anyway,
oh my gosh,
good times. But
well, it's been a. I mean, speaking of homeschool, this was Jack's first week of school, so his summer ended late because we don't pay attention to typical school dates.
Well, that's true, but we try to keep a little. But
you.
I mean, I have to toot your horn a little bit. You schedule everything out, so you knew when he was going to start, when he was going to end. Like you have like the calendar of when he's doing what lesson when. Which is incredible.
Man, I'm not feeding this boy into his 40s. That ain't happening.
Oh.
He'll live with your mom.
No,
if it goes south, he's living with your mom.
Heck no, man. One day I'm going to buy a house that has a mother-in-law suite. That way, if any of the mother-in-laws need to come live with us, and a little apartment for Jack in case he just wants to.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna live with us forever. Anyway, no, he so this week was our first back to school week for him, and he handled it pretty good. We have one day of outside of being lit on fire, we have one day of electives, and he gets to choose like software that he wants to learn and all that stuff, so it works out pretty good. And then my car didn't start right before we had to go to a really important meeting this week.
Oh yeah, for a mural, and it's funny because like at the meeting, they're the most incredible, wonderful people. Are so nice, but at the meeting, like they had to get all these different people together. So they had like the contractor and the
architect,
all these different people for because they're having to change some things and then we go out there, we're like, oh, we're ready. You know what? We're actually going to be 20 minutes early, and Jackie turns the ignition on and click, 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 click. And we're like, oh. So I call my mom, who is just incredible, wonderful lady, and we say, Mom, can you
race over here and let us use your car?
Bless her heart. She was like, I'm on it, and she's over there, and we were like 15 minutes late, but we got there, and it all turned out really great. But part of that too is my mom helping, and the people that we're doing the mural with are just such nice people.
Oh yeah, they're real cool.
And one of their people was running late too, so that actually
it made us look fine.
Yeah. So it all worked out.
And then of course it turns into this giant conversation of Jackie needs a new car. John's sending me crazy links. I really want another like Jeep sports utility Bronco. He's like sending me these luxury cars because he wants to be comfortable when I drive him around.
Yeah, well, there you go. What's wrong with having a limo?
Oh, gosh.
Where I can just ride in the back.
No.
I'll get you a little hat. You'll be great.
No.
I was just sending you links of cars that had a comparable price to a Jeep. You're like, wow, these are fancy cars. I'm like, well, But the upshot is the Jeep works. We're not buying anything. So yay! We don't have to buy a car. Thank goodness.
I just needed to replace the battery.
Yeah. We just had to buy a battery. We didn't have to buy a car. So that's a win, guys.
Although I will say, when I went to take it to O'Reilly's and to have them put the battery in, I was like, can you guys just do all of this? And he goes out there and he's like turn the car on. And I'm like, I turn it on, and he's like, does it always make that noise? And I'm like, it makes a different noise every other week. You know, I mean, it's a
Jeep, hey.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, I mean, like, is that a bad thing? I thought it was just, you know, a Jeep thing, but no. So he was like, okay, well, and then he tests it, puts a battery in, we're good to go. I mean, you know, it's a Jeep.
Yeah, it's making a noise. It's but it's got like over 120,000 miles, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's got like almost 140.
Yeah, so I could probably use a tune-up or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Cassie says, I would love to visit them one day. I'm legally blind, but still have most of my sight, but would love to visit and support them. Speaking of guide dogs, so. Well, they are located in San Antonio, at least the headquarters. Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, when it comes to guide dog schools, all of the schools are really good, but they have different philosophies. So, like, when it comes to guide dog instruction, the guide dog instructors will go and they'll become certified. And at least this was true whenever I learned all this, you know, way back when. So I think this is still true, but correct me if I'm wrong. But so you get to the certification, and it's the same. So, like, if you were a guide dog instructor in England, it's the same certification that if you get it here in Texas or California or New York or wherever. Which is kind of cool, because if you're a guide dog instructor, it means you could go to, you know, England and teach for a while, and go somewhere else and teach. So, you know, that's kind of neat. But what's different though is the philosophies and stuff. So, like, some of the guide dog schools in America still teach like an older way of guide dog travel, which works really well for some people. Which is routes. So it's like I'm gonna take you here to there, like, you know, point A to point B, and then point A to point C. You know, it's like all these different routes, maybe 2 or 3 routes. The guide dogs of Texas, they teach a newer way. Newer, I mean, it's like, you know, 15 years old at least or something. I mean, it's not like unproven or anything. It's actually an amazing, incredible way where they can learn routes, but they also do finds, and that makes it where I can take my guide dog and go anywhere with them. Like, I can get on an airplane and travel to New York and be able to go to a hotel I've never been to. You know, so it's a route that the dog's never been on, because instead of memorizing a pattern, the dog is looking for things. So, like you said, like, find the door. You know, find the door on the left. Find the water fountain. Find the men's room. They can find the guide dogs in Texas know the difference between a men's bathroom and a ladies' bathroom. They'll find it wherever it is. So they know the difference between a urinal, a stall. You know, all these different things.
They're almost too smart, because they, you know, like right now where we can't get out of the house a lot to do a bunch of different things, they're starting to look at us a little crazy.
I'm bored.
They're super bored.
She gets so excited when it's time to go somewhere.
She'll knock me over trying to get out the front door. Like, she has this weird, like, wiggle. And then it just plows over you.
I gotta go. But, you know, I just wanted to mention that really quick, because even some people who have visual impairments don't realize that different guide dog schools will have a different philosophy. So sometimes, though, they will get a guide dog and it doesn't work out, and they're still having to use a sighted guide quite a bit, because they do travel that's unusual. Like, they're not always going to the same place all the time. And, you know, so that other kind of guide dog doesn't work as well. Where a guide dog like Eagle or Echo, you know, from the Guide Dogs of Texas, is great, because, you know, they're made for going same places or different places. You know, I don't know. For me, it works out really well. But that's wonderful, being able to have a choice. Like, you can use a cane, you can use a guide dog from, like, the Guide Dogs of Texas. You could use the guide dogs from, like, the Seeing Eye, from different places. And so having that variability. So I'm not putting down any other guide dog school at all, because it's great having choices, you know. I mean, some people will have a guide dog from the Guide Dogs of, you know, in California or New Jersey, and they'll swear by them. And but yeah, I've been to a lot of places and seen a lot of guide dogs and a lot of the conferences, and a lot of those people using guide dogs are using a sighted guide as well. And the people with the Guide Dogs of Texas, they're zooming down the hallway just by themselves.
Well, Barbara Brand says, "Oh no, not the limo again."
Oh,
he'll be dreaming of this forever. It's not happening. It's not happening. Karen Teeter says, "How do we share a screenshot of the donation with you guys?"
You know, if you can't share the screenshot, just tell us that you did it, and we'll throw your name in the hat. Yeah, I mean
yeah, I know, if you do it on your phone, you can take a picture on your phone or whatever. I mean, whatever. It's all good.
Yeah, it's whatever's easier, guys. I really doubt that someone's gonna, I don't know, like, lie about it and all that, you know. So, Bye. So, you know.
Well, Carl has joined us and is waving hello. Cassie says, wow, that's awesome about the dogs. And Kim says, Leader Dogs in Michigan has an O&M week for just cane training that I had the opportunity to attend, and it was great.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, there's, like the other schools are really great. I mean, they are. Like, yeah, for the way that I travel and the way that I do things, the Guide Dogs of Texas it was like a perfect fit. Because I talked to all the other guide dog schools, and I talked about, I did all the research that I could, and actually, got on the phone and we discussed stuff.
Well, and part of the issue was your epilepsy. They wouldn't take you because they didn't want to be.
Well, yeah, they weren't sure.
Because with those schools, you had to go stay with them for a while, and they didn't want to be responsible for that.
Well. It didn't get that far though with those other schools, because with the Guide Dogs of Texas it was the same thing. That's why it took 3 years.
Oh yeah.
For me, because I had to get it cleared even with them. But the philosophy and stuff changed. Like I had to go and stay with the Guide Dogs of Texas for 2 weeks in. And this is something where they're different too. And now their philosophy has changed even more, or their training, where you don't go and stay at the school. So they actually come to you. So it used to be you would go. Other schools, you go and you stay for 4 weeks. And generally, it could be 3 weeks, sometimes 2, but it's usually 4. The Guide Dogs of Texas, you would go there 2 weeks, and then they would come to your hometown for 2 weeks and actually, work all the businesses and stuff that you're going to actually be visiting, which was awesome. And that was such a positive thing, and it worked so well that now you don't go there at all. They just come to you. And it's more expensive to do that, but it's way more effective. Because the entire time you're training, you're actually walking streets that you're going to be walking most of the time. And you're going into businesses that you're going to be going into. And you have certified guide dog instructors to be able to talk to the businesses. So if they've never had a guide dog in there before, and they're like, I don't know if you can have a dog in here. And they're like, oh, you can, and here's why. And they smooth everything over. Although that's not usually a problem, to be honest.
Well, Cassie Garb says, love this topic. And Kim says that's nice that they come to you.
I'm telling you, it makes a difference. It
especially
really
because
does.
when we got our first guide dog, I mean, you did have to go for 2 weeks, but not as long as some of the other schools. But when you got Echo, we had just had a baby. I mean, gosh, Jack was probably 8 months old. So it was you being gone for that long was a little weird.
I got to sleep. I got to sleep for 2 weeks without having to wake up.
And John was the stay-at-home dad, so that was a bit different.
Yeah. Jackie still worked at the university then, and I worked out of my studio at the house, so which was one of the best things that could have ever happened, really. I mean, because how often? I mean. I don't know. I love being a stay-at-home dad. It was difficult, but it was also really, really great. It was a wonderful experience.
Well, Ron Suffert says, have you thought about maybe auctioning off a piece of your art to raise money? The highest bidder wins your art, and you also help a good cause. Give it 2 or 3 weeks so it gives everyone a chance to bid. Just an idea. Then you will know the money goes directly to the Guide Dogs of Texas. Actually, you do a lot of that. I
do. That's a great idea, Ron. I do. Before COVID hit, we would actually fly 2 or 3 times a month, going places, and I would work with nonprofits and charities, and I would do a live painting, at a gala or some sort of event like that, and then at the end of it, we would auction off the painting. And I've done that, like we just did a show with the Guide Dogs of Texas, where half the proceeds of all the show went to Guide Dogs of Texas, and we'll still have 2 paintings that are available from that show,
Yeah, we did that. We did that on one of these Facebook Live shows when Hurricane Harvey hit Houston, and we did a bit, and that actually went really well. It was almost $2,000. It was great.
Yeah, that was really cool.
The painting that John was doing on the live show, we did bids through the chat, and that was really great. So, yeah, I mean that's awesome. We should do more of that.
Yeah, I want to show too, because I know that you had. Because we're talking about the Guide Dogs of Texas, and so I wanted to show you had some cool photos of Echo and stuff.
So we got Echo in 2009. No. Was it 2010? No, 2009.
No, I think it was 2008, because that's when.
Well, let's see, Jack was born in 2008.
Uh-huh.
And so maybe we got Echo right at the end of 2008?
Well, I think we actually got her a few months after Jack was born, something like that.
Okay. I'm sure.
Because he was born in March, and I want to say we got her before the summer because the first time I went to the Met was at October.
Yeah.
And I'd only had her a few months. Or a couple months or something.
Okay. I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's all a blur. Anyway, these pictures are of our first, at least, trip with Echo, on like, plane trip. And, gosh, she's maybe 2.5 there. Is she so big? She's still so big.
She's a big girl.
This is you in Central Park sitting on a bench, and also you standing in front of the Met like you own the joint.
Oh, yeah.
But this was a trip. It was fun, and gosh, Echo.
It was the first time that I'd flown. Yeah, like you said, I've only had the guide dog a few months, but we were already such a team. Like, she was just so great, and it was funny though because I'd never spoken at the Metropolitan Museum of Art before, and I remember standing on a street corner. Well, the funny thing was that I was looking up. In my talk, I wanted to talk about people with disabilities and all this sort of stuff, and about artists with disabilities. But one of the things that I happened to find in my research was I typed in people with disability in New York, and one of them was a newspaper like from the 1920s, and it had and the caption for the picture, the photo was a person with a disability or something on a street corner. But then, like they went in and they had a audio description where they actually described the picture, and it was a blind man selling pencils on the corner, right there. And I thought, how incredible, because like you go from the 1920s all the way up to this day, where I'd been invited as a blind person to go to the Met and talk about my visual artwork, about the changes that have been made, because of like guide dogs and people's perceptions and training and all this, and to actually be there in New York and have this idea of just the idea of a person with a disability was a blind person, that the only way that they can make a living was selling pencils on a street corner. And then I was standing on that street corner about to cross over to the Met to give a talk about my artwork, and I have to tell you, to me it was a little emotional. But
and then Echo snored through the whole thing.
Yeah, we were there. And I was giving the talk at the Met, and then I was sitting at a table during part of it, and they had speakers all through like the hall, and we kept hearing this rumbling, and I thought, well, what is that? I think people were kind of wondering, like, what does that sound? And finally we figured out, like, it was Echo underneath the table just snoring really loudly, and it was coming up through it was coming up through the microphone.
Yeah.
So she wasn't quite as taken with my artwork, but she handled, gosh, the subways, everything, just great. There was one subway, I'd never used a subway with a guide dog before.
Jeez.
Do you remember that one time that we went down and we couldn't get back up? And then it had like the subway styles where it was like this, like there wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like like you have to go through it, and it's like bars. There wasn't a way to get back up for some reason, and there wasn't a place for people with disabilities. So I had to hold Echo, and she's like almost 100 pounds, and just try to get through that little style.
She's a big girl.
Anyway, it was a good time.
My mom joined us, says hi guys, and Azura has joined us and says hey all. So.
Hey. Oh, I have one more really quick story about that trip. First time with the guide dog, first time in New York, first time on a subway. And I didn't realize how fast subways started in New York and how fast that they stopped. So we're there, and I'm kind of hanging on. And then it goes like 0 to 60. Like it goes from stop to full go. And I fell, and Echo fell, and we knocked out half the car. I mean, just following, and other people were following, but everybody was so nice. People talk about New Yorkers being like, I don't know, mean or something, but everybody's like, oh, it's okay. Then when the subway came to a stop, I went flying the other way and knocked out the other half of the car, and everybody was still so nice. But just by the time that first subway ride, I had knocked everybody over.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was funny.
But hey.
What are you gonna do? All right, what's your next pick?
I don't know.
So this was the first. Okay, so that previous one was the first trip we ever took with Echo. This is her look on her face is ridiculous.
What's she doing?
She's laying on the grass with her legs, one of her paws just kind of over one of the tent poles.
Oh.
So this was her last working festival that we did.
10 years later, we'd wore her out.
We wore her out, and you can see like the white on her muzzle, and she's like, the look on her face though, her eyes look so crazy. She doesn't normally look that crazy, but she does. She did a lot of napping well, all the dogs do a lot of napping at the festivals, but this was probably like 2017.
Something like that.
Probably March.
Oh, you know what? It was I think it was April, because that's when I got Eagle in Echo, because we tore down that night, from that art festival, and we got home at 2. So Echo worked until 2 a.m. I want to say it was Arts and Jazz.
I want to say this might have been Huffines, but
it might have been. But and then I got Eagle at like 6:30 that next morning. So there's like a 4-hour gap between Echo working her last job and Eagle starting. Oh.
Well, Ron says, LMBO, I love your stories. And,
thank you, Ron.
And Azur says she's so pretty.
Oh, thank you, Azur.
Thank you. She's still kicking. She's, walks around this joint and knocks you over because she can't really see that well or hear that well.
But she'll keep going.
She's so big.
If she wants to go somewhere and you're in the way and she's already started,
it's her way or everything's out of the way. Okay, so this is super cute. This is Eagle's first time in a hotel on her first trip with you, with us. I think it was just you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think you sent me this picture, but Eagle, when we first got Eagle, she did not like flying. Like, she'd do it, and she'd do her job, and she'd get it done, but you could tell she did not like it. She'd shake a little, she'd stand up, sit down, she'd lay down, sit up, she'd put her head on your lap, she'd breathe heavy all over, and she does not like flying. She's gotten better. So we got her a ducky, this yellow ducky that she loved. And so she held on to this thing. She'd sleep with it. I think she had it up until Chip destroyed it. Mm-hmm. But this is a picture of her in the hotel, finally, after a stressful plane ride, hugging her ducky, just trying to relax. So
I always felt bad for her because she didn't like planes. I mean, she always she never missed a beat when it came to guiding and stuff. But she would just like sit there instead of laying down. Like for Echo, as soon as I would get on a plane, she would curl up and go to sleep even before like I could put my bag in the overhead thing. So then I would have to try to get around Echo to get in. I was like, wake up. Yeah. And she would just be completely out. But with Eagle, she would just sit there and just stare at me during the whole flight. And if I would look at her, she'd go, just like,
what are you doing to me? We're so far from the ground. It's kind of how I feel when we fly.
Guys. But then, I don't know, but she got a lot of treats and stuff. And then over time, she got better. She also did like mics, like
popping.
A microphone. And
yeah.
A big part of my job was going places where there were microphones. So every time a microphone would pop, she would sit up and go.
It's a loud sigh. It's a loud sigh.
She's so dramatic with her sigh.
She's pretty dramatic. She's drama all the way. So anyway, those are we obviously still have Eagle, and she's still working, so she does not have a last working.
Yeah, she's right over there, snoring.
Yeah, she's snoozing.
We do have a game.
Well, okay. What? There was another picture I gave you. Oh, okay, but this is the game. Cool.
All right.
We can go in. Yeah, okay. I had these are the questions are going to be a little ridiculous because they're about guide dogs, and we know quite a bit, obviously, living with it. So you should get these right.
Okay, I haven't heard the questions yet, so this would be a nice.
Anybody out there, if you want to join in, obviously write in the letter. You could help John out. Especially if this ends up embarrassing him, he should know these.
yeah. If I don't know these, I should have some sort of penalty.
Yes.
So if I get one wrong, what should be a penalty?
I don't know. You have to let the dogs kiss you a lot because you hate that. I know.
That's gross.
Exactly. You're like gross. I know exactly what you hate.
Yeah.
Okay.
An eagle's a kisser. Like,
she is. It's
like,
gross.
okay. I mean, I love to give her hugs and pet her, but I don't, she's a licker.
She's a licker. Okay. So, here you go. Here's your first question.
Okay.
The guide dogs, when they reach a crosswalk, what must the guide dog do? A, bark meaningfully and cross carefully. B, stop, signal to the handler that they're at a crosswalk and wait for the handler's instructions. Or C, sit down patiently and then give a signal to move forward when it's safe to do so.
Oh.
This could be tricky. I'll be honest, I got this one wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did.
I
mean, clearly she should bark and tell everybody what's going on.
Yeah. But what I like about that is bark meaningfully. Not just like, like a random yap or like
she's trying to talk to you.
Yeah, it should be like, be a meaningful bark. Just like blah, blah, blah.
Azur says B, Kylie says C, Barbara says C.
I say B, and then if that's correct, and I don't have to get licked by a dog, I will tell you why.
Okay, well, Kim says B.
Okay,
I'll go ahead and call it because the question's been up a while. It is actually B. Linda says B as well.
But C is a really good answer too, guys. But here's the thing about guide dogs that sometimes people don't know is that it's really, if you think about a crew for a plane, and this is the way my guide dog instructor explained it to me. So you are the captain of the plane. So you decide where the plane's going to go, but the dog is a navigator. So the dog is going to tell you the best way to do it, but it should be you to say when to go and where to go. So whenever you get to the curb, you're still using all the things you learned for how to cross the street with a cane. You're listening to engine sounds. You're listening to all the stuff that's going on. You're listening for engine surge, to know if they're turning right or left or what they're doing. Now, the dog also knows how to cross the road, and they're there is like your backup parachute. So if you make a mistake and you start crossing the road and the dog sees a car coming, they're trained to disobey your command and to stop you. But it's you saying, like, let's go. So
yeah,
so,
this
so you're the captain. You're like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
And then the dog's like, Scotty, I don't have enough power. I don't have enough power, Captain.
Well, James had guessed C, Cassie guessed C, Ron guessed C.
C's a good answer. I mean, because it's so close to being right.
And our views joined us. I believe it's Arthur, and he guessed C. Karen guessed B. I initially, when I was doing this, because I had to take the quiz in order to copy the questions, I guessed C because I guess I was thinking at the next step when they do tell you when it's safe or not. So looking at it is obviously B. So,
I'll tell you, I have done C before. I did it once with my dad, and I was doing a gig at the Dallas Museum of Art, and my dad and I, I've worked with the Dallas Museum of Art for over 10 years, so it's been but then it'd probably been like 5. So I'd gone there a lot, and my dad and I were standing on the curb, and I had Echo was my guide dog at the time, and we're on the curb, and the light, I guess, had turned green, and then we were halfway across the street before both of us realized that we were crossing the street, and I said, did you say go? And he said, no, did you say go? And I was like, no, it was just Echo. Like, she saw the light change. Like, she saw there was no traffic. I was like, all right, the lights, or some signal had been given, so she saw it and it was going, but so. The dogs are really good at it too, so sometimes it is C, but it's supposed to be B.
Thank goodness she's the brains of the operation.
I know.
Well, Barbara says, how do they signal that you're at a crosswalk?
If it's like a regular crosswalk with a curb, it depends on the way that dog is trained. Like for Echo, she would sit at the curb, and you would feel it in the handle that the curb is that it's going down, and that would let you know that there's a step down. And then you reach out with your right foot and you find it, and then you know where it is. So that's her way of letting you know that you're at the crosswalk. If it's like something going up, then they'll put their front paw on it, and you can feel that in the handle, and you can feel the tilt up, and you know that it's going to be a step up. So it's just different ways that they move their body to be able to let you know different things. The same if there's a limb that's going to be hitting you in the face, even if it doesn't hit them, they'll stop and they'll sit, and that lets you know, oh, there's an obstruction right there, and then you can start to work it out.
Well, Ron Seffert says, I'm learning so much, but it makes sense when you describe it. So.
Oh, thanks.
Go on to the next question so
Do
we
it.
can see what this is all about.
What's this one? I'm curious.
I'll
try not to ramble on so much. I get excited about guide dogs because they're just so cool.
How do guide dogs make a distinction between work and play? A, if the harness is off, it means they're on... A, if the harness is off, it means they're on the job. B, if the harness is on, it means they're on the job. Or C, if the collar is on, it means they're on the job. I mean, you know this, obviously.
Yeah. And there's some variability with this, too.
Is there?
Well there's some nuances.
Nuances, listen to you.
So, should I answer?
Yeah, go ahead and answer it.
Okay, well, if the harness is on, it means that they're on the job, which I think most people get. Like, if you see a service dog in a grocery store or something, they're wearing a harness, they're probably working. One of the things with the guide dogs too, though, is that like you never really tell them to go to work. Like with a guide dog, like they just want to work. So if they see you heading for the door, they'll put themselves in this work mode where they're like a very A-type personality. Like, let's get the job done. Let's do it. Come on, rah rah rah, woo woo woo. And then when it's time to relax, you say, okay, let's play, or go free is Eagle's code word. That means just be a dog. Just go be a dog. Be yourself. And with that, and then she'll prance around and be silly and stuff like a clown.
Yeah, she'll do some jumps.
Yeah, so there's not really, and then even without a harness on, like they'll still work. Like you can't feel it doesn't work well for the person being guided because you can't feel their body movements, but you can hold on to the leash and have them do certain things. Like, I mean, they'll just a basic sort of guide and stuff. And
they'll still obey every single command.
Yeah,
regardless of having that harness on. But
yeah, and without the harness, like even like at stairs and stuff, they'll still put their front paws on the stairs. They'll still do all the stuff.
Yeah, they've definitely been trained. Well, that question was a little bit of a gimme because everybody said B.
That's just because we're all smart. That's all.
Yeah, we all know what's going on. So good job, guys. But yes. You should bedazzle her harness.
Oh,
or collar.
That's actually against the guide dog rules.
I know, we've already.
I mean, they don't have an official anti-bedazzling clause. But you're not allowed to put costumes.
I know. I've always wanted to dress up the dogs, but I didn't get to do that until Echo retired, and then she was instantly in a boa. It was great. All right, next question. Who funds guide dog schools? A, the Blind Association. B, the government, or C, charitable donations?
Ooh, that's a really good...
Here, I'll you know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to throw up a link as a hint.
Ooh, what's the link? Is it to the North Texas Giving Day for guide dog schools?
Yes, of course it is. Of course it is. Should
I answer or should I wait a bit?
Well, Kylie has said C.
Oh, Kylie.
Linda says C. We're getting lots of C's.
All right.
Ron C's. James C. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I would say C as well because a guide dog school, they don't get money from the government. They don't get money from anything other than just private people giving them the money, and it's extremely expensive to train a guide dog. But whenever they are training, they go to someone. Honest to goodness, like I was surprised how much they help. But not only like the individual that has a guide dog, but their family, and then their ability to work, the community. I mean, it's a huge ripple effect. It's just,
yeah, it is. And so so everybody's guessing C. You're all correct. That is accurate. Kim says, fun fact, the Lions Club puts an awfully lot of money into guide dog schools, and we love the Lions.
Oh, Kim.
Yeah, we agree. The Lions Club is great. We've gone out and talked to them with the guide dogs and stuff, and
oh my
they're
goodness.
awesome.
I've gone to so many different Lions Clubs to just give talks, and it's one of those things where if I'm in town and if I'm working like with a gallery museum, the Lions Club says, hey, can you come by? I'm like, heck yeah, I can come by, and just thank them for all the work they do and anything they need, because it's incredible. Like one of the Lions Club, their go-to is visual impairment nonprofits and charities and stuff, which is so cool.
Another really great organization that gives to visual impairment, or the Guide Dog School of Texas, we know for a fact, is Delta Gamma.
Oh yeah,
they're awesome. I've never seen a better volunteer organizational crew in my life.
Yeah,
they rock it.
I'm so glad you said that. That's true. Like, and they give their time, which is a huge thing. So like, if you're going somewhere, and we're doing like a hands-on event, maybe with it's going to be painting, and maybe there's going to be 300 people there with visual impairments, or and we're like, okay, we need a whole lot of volunteers, guys. Like, we can do that many, but and they're like, oh, we have the Delta Gammas coming, and we know, oh, good, it's handled. Like,
because they're like, there's volunteers at every event, and it's like you got to kind of like pry them out and be like, give them a job, whatever. Delta Gammas are usually like, what can I do? What can I do next? Okay, I've got that. What's going on? They ask what is their job. That's so crucial.
Yeah, I remember I gave a talk, I think, at one of their meetings, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It was just sort of like, thank you guys. You as an organization.
They're great. Brilliant. Well, Barbara Brand says, like NPR, we are counting on you. So yes, just like that, charitable donations to the Guide Dog School. That's how they stay open. So, what's the next question, babe?
It is
what breeds are commonly suited to guide dog service?
Chihuahuas.
A, poodle, collie, or terrier. B, golden retriever, Labrador retriever, German shepherd. Or C, sheepdog, hound, or beagle.
You put beagle.
Beagle. Clearly, it's a beagle.
Did you write all these questions yourself?
No, but I included this question because it said beagle.
I was gonna say you did a really great job at all these questions, and I can see the beagle in there, and it makes me think,
No.
Well, you have a little beagle named Chip, and she would not make a good guide dog.
No.
She makes a good pet dog.
Oh my gosh. And that's even questionable. A lot of people are saying B. Pretty much everybody's saying B. Kim said, here, let me go back up. Where is it? Come talk to the Durham Lions. We would love to have you at one of our Zoom meetings. That'd be cool.
Oh, man, yeah.
And then Linda said Lions and Gammas help at vision walks, too, for Foundation Fighting Blindness. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, can't say enough about those two organizations. They're awesome.
Yeah, honestly, send me an email. I would love to talk to the Lions Club. So please send me an email. It's bramblett@gmail.com, and we'll make that happen.
Make it happen. So everybody's saying B. While I think a beagle could make a good guide dog.
They do make some good like drug sniffing dogs. I mean they.
Well, yeah, I would.
They do use beagles for a lot of work, but just not guide dogs.
Yeah, well, I mean, our beagle can sniff out anything crazy.
Yeah.
Although she didn't find the weird chirping thing.
Well, I don't think she thought of it as being of interest to her. Like, she didn't seem to care.
Yeah.
It was like this little frog that Jackie was on the hunt on for a week or two.
So, okay. I'll explain the story in a second. The answer is B. So good job, everybody! Yay! What's the next question? And then I'll explain the chirping that has plagued me. Okay, so what do volunteer puppy raisers have to do to be able to raise guide dogs? A, apply and do a special training program. B, show eagerness to volunteer their services. Or C, pay a nominal fee and attend a 9-week workshop.
Oh my goodness, I don't think I know this.
Well, think about it. So let me say really fast. Kim said, yes, love the Foundation for Fighting Blindness. Azur said, I used to watch a live cam channel for Great Danes. They train them for guide dogs for vets. Do they use them for blind as well? That's cool. Like a live cam for training. I've always wanted the guide dog school to put up a live cam where you have to pay to just like log on for 20 minutes as like a de-stressor.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Anyway,
I'm sorry. I'm really worried about getting licked by a dog here. I don't know if I know.
Well, I should say that I don't know of them using Great Danes for guide dogs at all.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe out there is one. I don't know.
Yeah, there might. You never know. It isn't standard because like the breeding programs for guide dogs, they've been around for decades, and that's why you typically see. Well, it's one of the reasons why you typically see like. the same dogs. But with labs though, they're not as territorial, and they're really eager to work. They want to work, So and they love food and they all that. So it makes a great dog for that.
Yeah.
But they also love to nap. So whenever, like, if you're working and you need to walk for 2 hours, but then you need to sit down for 3 hours, they're happy with both. And, so that makes them great.
Well, so we're getting a lot of A's.
I'm thinking A too. So so A is just you have to apply, and then you have to do the program.
Yeah. B is show eagerness to volunteer your services, and C is to pay a nominal fee to attend a 9-week workshop.
Well, I know there's got to be some sort of training involved. And gosh, I've talked to so many puppy raisers. I think I would know this. I don't know if it's a 9-week workshop. Oh, my word. I'm going to go with A.
All right. Unfortunately, you got it right, and I'm not going to be able to torture you with
that's okay.
The dog licking you.
Eagle will make it happen no matter if
She will.
If I just say her name too much, she'll be over here wanting to give kisses.
Well, good job to everybody out there. It seemed like quite a few people got the answers right. So
way to go, guys.
Way to know your guide dog trivia.
Yeah, man.
So, and I know there was like one last question on there. Or not question, sorry. It wasn't a question. It was one last like image I wanted to show. Maybe you didn't. Maybe it's not up there.
I don't remember another file. What was it?
It was the very first painting you ever did of Echo and the last one.
Oh, shoot. No, I don't have that on there.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
We'll have to save it for another time. It's a good one. Because you can really see like the change of relationship in the painting.
Sorry, guys. Cool. Yeah, I'll have that on Monday.
But anyway, like with the chirping outside, let me just say really fast so I don't sound crazy. John and I would sit outside, and there's this weird chirping. It sounds kind of like a bird, and it was driving me nuts because it sounded like it was under the deck, and I was worried that it was like a bird in distress, but it was like chirp, chirp, and then it would do this trill, and John could talk to it. It was weird, and then so for days, and it would happen during the day and night. I'd go out there and it would chirp. So I guess like 2 nights ago, I was on the hunt. I was like trying to track this chirping down because it wasn't under the deck for once. It was actually out in one of the bushes. And so I got in there and I YouTubed the sound. I was looking all around and I finally found it. It's a tiny, tiny little frog. It's called the Rio Grande chirping frog. And it sounds just like a bird. Yeah, so if you're being plagued by bird sounds.
Yeah, it just makes a little chirping little.
It's actually a frog.
Yeah, it's weird.
And we've never had like frogs in the backyard, which is why that tripped me out. It was just so weird.
I thought it was probably a frog.
Well, being under the deck why would a bird get under there and still live for like 4 days? I mean.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, science.
I don't think I've shown the painting this whole time.
Oh, well, you could wrap this up by showing it.
Well, so this is what I'm working on here, guys. It's the Denver skyline, and so I've been working on it, and I've been adding more to the. So as you can tell, like all the buildings down here, I'm just adding color, and now I'm adding more black over it. And I'm going to go in adding more whites and light colors as well. So I'm just getting the blocks into the buildings, and it's taking a little bit of time, but but that's okay. Like, I don't mind it taking a little bit of time, but I want to. It's starting to get to the point now where it's all kind of coming together, which is the exciting part of any painting. So I'm going in. I'm adding more of this black stuff because I added color. So adding more of this black paint will make it where I can feel it a little bit easier because I'm starting to thin out in some areas. So I'm adding that back in, and should be able to get quite a bit done before next Monday.
Hopefully
finish it, actually.
That'd be great.
Oh, I had that other painting.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to show the Bow Bridge, the final, it is being shipped out tomorrow. Dun, dun, dun. That bad boy is done.
Okay. Let's see. You may have to tell me if it's lined up with the camera or not.
Okay. Boop. Move it over to the right.
This way?
Yeah.
And also, this camera up there, we need to get a better camera.
Yeah, and then the light is way bright.
Okay, you know what? I'll tell you what. Maybe this camera is better?
Yeah, it's nice. It shows the colors a little bit better.
So this is the Bow Bridge, the first trip that I took with Echo was in New York, and we went all over Central Park, and we went back many a time.
Well, Barbara Brand says, I see your Bow Bridge in the back. So, yes, there it is. And Azur says, the cam is called Explore Dogs on YouTube for Great Danes if you're interested in the Service Dog Project.
Oh, cool. Hey, Jackie.
So, yes.
Smile. Okay, that's a good screenshot.
Azur says, ooh, sweet. And then on the painting, Azur said it's huge. It looks good. The Denver one.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's as big as a man.
Yes.
It's 6 feet. Well, it's 6 feet wide, but it's if a man were to lay down, it's as big as a man laying down.
Yes. So there you have it. But anyway, and you know what Monday's show is?
Of course I do.
No, you don't.
Well, you should prove that we do know what it is and say it to us.
Kim said, so nice. Love the bridge painting.
Oh, thank you. What's the Monday show?
It's the 50th show.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. There you have it.
Wow, so maybe we're turning 50 on Monday, guys.
So maybe we'll give away more art.
Yeah,
maybe
that's a good idea.
We'll do it old school style and draw some names during the show.
Gosh.
50.
We're turning 50 on Monday, guys. Y'all ready for it?
No. Not at all.
That's crazy. Let's get some black balloons and do it upright.
Well, I don't know. With all the varnish smell in here, I don't know if we'll last the weekend. It is. We started varnishing the mural one panel at a time, and it's like one entire can. Imagine spraying one entire can of varnish in a room and then working in that room.
Yeah, I have a gas mask though, but still, like after when we have the door open and we have like a giant, like a turbo fan thing going, but just the lingering odor after the vapor and all that.
All through the house now.
Is it really?
It is a bit through that. I mean, your dad came over earlier and was like, "What's up with that?" It's all through the house. So
I asked Jack if it was bothering him and he was like, "No, I like it when my nose burns." I was like, "Well, buddy, your nose shouldn't be burning. Like you need to go away."
Sure, you want to do school back there? Anyway, so Azur says the big 50. Ron said 50. Yeah, so Tuesday we will celebrate 50 episodes and give away some art, and it'll be a good show. It'll be fun. So that's all I got.
Well, yeah. Well, just one last thing. I just want to say thanks so much to our supporters on Patreon.
Yes.
You guys are awesome. We appreciate it so much, guys, and I hope everybody has a really great weekend and just is able to get some creativity out and just have a little bit of fun, let some stress off, and make something pretty.
Make something pretty. But thanks again, guys. Don't forget it's North Texas Giving Day. Enter to win.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.